The day the rollets got their moxie back. Sometimes the thing that gets you through hard times comes like a bolt from the blue. That's what my older brother's letter was like, traveling across the country from a work camp in Wyoming. It was 1937, and Ricky was helping to build facilities for a new state park as part of President Roosevelt's employment program. Though the program created jobs for young men like Ricky, it hadn't helped our dad find work yet. I imagined Ricky looking up at snow-capped mountains and sparkling skies, breathing in the smell of evergreens as his work crew turned trees into lumber and lumber into buildings. It almost made an 11-year-old weakling like me want to become a lumberjack. Back in our New York City apartment, the air smelled like meatloaf and cabbage. Dad sat slantwise in his chair by the window, obviously trying to catch the last rays of sunlight rather than turn on a light. My older sister Ruth and I lay on the floor, comparing the letters Ricky had sent us. "Shirley, Ricky says they had a talent show, and he wore a grass skirt and did a hula dance while playing the ukulele," Ruth reported with delight. "I'll bet he was the cat's pajamas." "It'd be swell to have our own talent show," I replied. "Should I start sewing grass skirts?" Mom asked from the kitchen, which was just the corner where someone had plopped down a stove next to a sink and an icebox. "Now come set the table. Dinner's almost ready." Dad stayed where he was, sullen and spent. "Any jobs in the paper?" Mom asked, her voice rich with sympathy. Dad shook his head no. He had worked as an artist in the theater for years, but most productions were still strapped for cash. Dad sketched posters for shows that did get the green light, just to keep his skills sharp. He even designed posters for Rollet's Follies, with Ruth and me depicted in watercolor costumes. For dinner, Mom served a baked loaf of whatever ingredients she had that worked well together. From the reddish color, I could assume that she had snuck in beets. "I guarantee you'll like these beets," she said, reading my frown. "It's beetloaf, the meatless meatloaf," she sang as she served up slices. Ruth fidgeted in her seat, still excited about the talent show. Though calm on the outside, inside I was all a-twitter too. Over the next week, Ruth and I practiced our Hawaiian dance routine. Our parents worried about heating bills as cold weather settled in. One Saturday, my father decided to grin and bear it, and grab some hot coffee at the local soup kitchen, where he hoped to hear about available jobs. Ruth and I begged to go along. Since the kitchen offered donuts and hot chocolate on weekends, he agreed. Most everyone in line was bundled up against the cold. Many of us had to rely on 2 or 3 threadbare layers. Like many other men, Dad bowed his head as if in shame. The line moved slowly. Bored, Ruth began practicing her dance steps. I sang an upbeat tune to give her some music. Around us, down-turned hats lifted to reveal frowns becoming smiles. Soon, folks began clapping along. Egged on by the supportive response, Ruth twirled and swayed like there was no tomorrow. "Those girls sure have moxie," someone shouted. "They've got heart, all right," offered another. "Why, they ought to be in pictures." "With performances like that, I'd nominate them for an Academy Award," a woman called out. "Those are my girls," Dad declared, his head held high. Everyone burst into applause. For those short moments, the past didn't matter, and the future blossomed ahead of us like a beautiful flower. I couldn't wait to write Ricky and tell him the news.